Hello, Bee. How are you, my dear? Long time no talk. So, y'all know that I really prefer to color my stamps as no lines. It's my favorite thing to do. So I use Memento Desert Sand, and it is my favorite ink. This ink pad is probably dead, but hey, we're gonna try. I'm probably gonna have to stamp it several times because I'm pretty sure that ink pad is fairly dry. But that's all right. You've never done no lines coloring? Gasp. I love doing no lines coloring. Linda! So I'm gonna hope that 2 times is enough to stamp it, but I'm guessing it might be 3. Yours is going to be regular line. 2 lines is enough, or 2 stamps is enough. All right. Linda Lou, how are you? Are you back? No, you're not back. You're still in Pennsylvania, yeah? All right. B, are you gonna, well, no, you're not gonna use the same colors as me either, huh? Because you don't have all the Copics. My card is gonna be an A2, and I'm going to do a very clean and simple card. Because I'm gonna make this Christmassy. And so I really, really, really want to do something very simple and clean. I put my magnets on the top of this, and then all of my shelves that are over here are metal. And so I can just stick my Misty to my shelf. It makes it very handy. Hi, Paula. So we're going to zoom in here so that we can color. I'm going to grab my Copic holder. I'm gonna get a quick drink of water. Okay, I might have zoomed in like a little bit too much. There we go. All right. So again, like I said, I'm gonna make him a Christmas guy. So I think I'm going to go a little bit traditional, but a little bit off the rails. So the dragon himself is going to be green, and then he's going to have red and white candy cane stripes. Maybe some red hair and some white horns. Like, we're going to go all Christmassy on him, okay? So for my green, I want him to be slightly more of a Crayola style green and not my usual olive type green. So I'm going to go a little bit out of my wheelhouse here. And we're going to pick some colors. So I think I'm going to go G29 as my darkest green. If I can even find it. I don't use these darker greens a whole lot. Not even going to lie. Okay, then I'm going to go G19. And I jumped up a couple. It's still in the same. See, G29 and G28 are very similar. G19 comes off of there. And then I'm going to jump over here to G07. Since G07 kind of lends itself into being sort of have a yellow base to it, that's why you notice there's a bunch of YGs next to it. I'm going to come up here into the YGs and find something that goes kind of next. So to me, that would be YG25. And that's how I jump color families when I'm doing that. And then this YG23 does not really look like that in person, but whatevs. But I think I'm going to go, maybe I will do YG23. I don't know if it's just this has faded over time. I have not colored this mini hex chart in a very long time. See, look at the real difference there. And to me, that's too tonal. Those are too close to the same. I do not want that. So this is YG21, which is over here. And that's a little bit too yellow for me. So we're gonna try YG03, which I know is probably the right color, and I should have just picked it from the get-go. But hey, you guys got to walk along that path with me. So there's my color blend. So I'm going to color this in a way that's slightly different. I like to use a lot of texture when coloring things that have scales. So when I do things, hey Karen, when I do things with scales, I like to use a stippling or a dot technique. So I'm going to start with the shadow directly underneath his chin. And this is our brand new release little dude. Hopefully you can see what I'm color. Hey Carrie, how are you, my dear? It's release weekend, yay! Oh, hey Carrie, there's a post in the design team group that I tagged you in. FYI. I need you to respond. Nothing major. You're not in trouble or anything. It's about the Christmas gift exchange. But since I had your attention for a moment, I figured I'd let you know. If you haven't been online much lately, poor girl. Hope you're feeling better today. Okay, so I'm just doing around his little claws. Now, I like to add like where his little hand would come in to kind of give him a little bit more structure. Kind of around his elbow, where he might be a little bit darker. You made it, you made it. Hey, Kelly. It's okay, I'm just now getting started. So I'm just gonna start by coloring his legs, and then we're gonna move on from there. I am using Sweet Sentiment coloring paper. I am using the purple label coloring paper, which we have in stock right now. We have A2 size, so it's all pre-cut for those of you who do not like cutting. The A2 size is made with you in mind. And then I have the 8.5 by 11 size. And that is in stock as well. The teal paper is on its way to us. And I hope it'll be here this week. Okay, so now I'm using my second marker, which is the G19. We're going to overlap these dots to start to fill in the dark spots. Here comes my husband with the lawnmower. I'm sorry. He was not going to do the yard work today. And then our AI Wi-Fi device said that it was going to rain. And so he promptly went outside to start doing yard work because here in Idaho, all the leaves are falling. And so, I don't know if you know from experience, but I know from experience it's really hard to pick up so the hex chart, it's really hard to pick up wet leaves. The hex chart is from sandyallnock.com, and I don't know if you can read this right there. sandyallnock.com/hex chart. And if you show me that you purchased the hex chart, Paula, I will send you where I made this into a 5x7 and added the grays. Because when you get the hex chart, you get this one, and this one is on a separate sheet. I combined them, and so I'll send you an email where you can print them on one piece of paper. You just have to show me proof that you bought it, because it's against Angel policy to share. I like the mini one because I used to, when I was collecting my Copics, I used to just slide it into my purse, and that way when I went to the store or I was ordering online or whatever, I had it handy so I didn't end up buying a bunch of duplicates. Because we've all been there, right? Yeah, B, if you want me to send you that file that I made, it's just a PDF. You can print it out. I do always suggest that you print your hex chart out on whatever kind of paper you're going to be coloring on. B, elbow, elbow, wink, wink, for when you get your paper in. Because different papers will take the colors and do different things with them. Our paper is 100% post-consumer recycled, so it's going to react slightly differently. Hey, E000s, I need one of those. One of mine went missing, so I would adopt one of those E000s from you if you have a spare. I always have 2 or 3 E000s on hand. Yeah, I'll totally trade you, for sure. No problem. So the more vertical you hold your pen, the more teeny tiny you can get these dots. Now this is the center color, the middle color in my color blend. So I want this to read as the true color. So I'm going to be slightly more liberal with it. And by that, I mean I'm going to use more of it. Because I want this little dragon to read like he's this color. So when I say true color, this is what the color of the dragon is without shadow and without highlight. So notice how much more of that color I used than the other colors. So, hey Catherine. Is that Kareen? That's kind of a cool name. Thanks for joining us, Kareen. If I said that wrong, totally let me know, because everybody says my name wrong. So I'm pretty sensitive towards pronouncing people's names wrong. But I think it's Kareen. I like it. It's a beautiful name. So who's ready for these holidays coming up? Everybody ready? Tell me, not it. Tell me your favorite part about Thanksgiving. Your favorite part. You're setting up Christmas this week. Confession, my tree is already up. And turkey wings. Not sure I have one. See, Denise, I'm like that too. I'm right there with you, girl. But I will say, if I was forced to choose, if somebody said it's either tell me your favorite part of Thanksgiving or step up to the gallows, my favorite part would be, are you ready for it? We usually watch Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation on Thanksgiving. So my favorite part would be watching Christmas Vacation. Yeah, you got sick. You got real sick, girl. I'm glad you're on the mend, though. And that TikTok you just posted about shipping orders, priceless. TikTok gold right there. So, in case you guys don't know, B has taken over the Sweet Sentiment TikTok. And if you don't follow us, that's okay, because she posts them onto our Instagram and Facebook as well. And she is way more adept at TikTok than I ever have been or ever will be. She is awesome at TikTok. And so, since I love them, but only make them maybe twice a year, but I have to make them, so balance. Balance. So anyways, B is amazing at TikTok. And I sent her videos of packing orders, or packing an order, packing Nan's order to be specific. And it just so happened that the timing was so great that when I took the orders out to the mailbox, the mail truck pulled up. And so I got a video of the mail truck picking up the orders, which was fantastic. Yes, so follow us on TikTok. Yeah, I didn't know that. See? B knows all the good stuff. So look at how much texture that makes. Isn't that fun? It looks like little scales. And I just love it. I love it. And it works so great with the no lines, because then it's, you know, those lines kind of disappear. And it looks more artistic, more painterly, more something or other. I don't know. It looks more extra. It takes a little bit. I mean, it requires some patience. But for those of you who are learning and say that you have trouble achieving smooth blends, this is one of those techniques that helps you kind of break down the ink and see how it reacts with the other ink behind it or in front of it. And so it's actually a really great learning tool to use this technique. Super fun. Yeah, I have to do this for this little guy because I used the December stamp set for him, which I didn't mean to. I was just making cards for release, and I didn't realize that I had the wrong set, the wrong stack, or I had that stamp set in the wrong stack. So, yeah. So my bad, but that's okay. I'm already a card ahead for next month, I guess. Bee's on the design team. She's seen it, and she's super excited about the December stamp that I put with this little guy. So there you go. Yeah, you're extremely excited about it. That's big shoes to fill right there. It's cool. I'm not gonna lie. We have a great release coming up. We had a great release today. Like, we have this loaded for you guys. The end of the year is just epic. I really love that Sandy's been drawing more, and she's actually at home trying to draw even more to get even further ahead. She's drawing January stamp sets. But you guys asked for it. You asked for more Sandy and Jammie. And so that's what you're getting. You're getting Sandy's art and Jammie's snark. Which seems to be a great combination. So we're all down with that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I asked you guys what your favorite part of Thanksgiving is. So tell me, what's your least favorite part of Thanksgiving? Denise? Don't let me down. You got something good in the pipeline, I know. Having to cook. Oh. B, that's the fun part. Clean up. That is right, Christy. You are correct. Oh, Christy, I need to talk to you about, give you a minute to make it PC. Christy, I need to talk to you about Dad's Christmas present. So, text me tonight when you have time. See, I use my platform to do get all kinds of stuff done. I'm telling Carrie that she needs to look at the design team. Telling my sister she's got to text me about our dad's Christmas present. I mean, come on now. Showering and leaving the house. I like seeing my family, but the process. I don't know that I like hanging out with my family. I mean, my sister's on here, so I can't say that. But I never get to see her on Thanksgiving because we don't live in the same state. So if Christy and I got to hang out on Thanksgiving, we'd probably have fun. We used to. I used to love looking at the Black Friday ads on Thanksgiving. like the newspaper used to be epic, and it was huge, and you could sit there and look at the ads and, you know, make a shopping plan and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, I can only imagine the amount of red lights you'd run if if you weren't sober. Right, B? Totally multitasking. You know I'm just harassing you, Denise. I do it because I love you. That was freaking hilarious. Even in the light of day, though, when we went and looked at that red light, that was, I mean, absolutely ludicrous. There's no reason there should be a light there. I'm just saying, you are validated. But it's still fun to make fun of it because, you know, what kind of friend would I be if I didn't let you live that down? Girl, that was not a red light. If you wouldn't have said anything, we wouldn't have noticed, but you called yourself out on that one. She's like, ooh, I ran a red light. Was that a red light? I think it was a red light. Anyways, so looking at the Black Friday paper used to be epic, but now it just sucks. It's like not even, I don't know, it's dumb. They don't even have good sales like they used to. Like, it used to be amazing. And now, and do you remember they used to, like, take care of you when you went Black Friday shopping? Like, Mervyn's would give you, like, hot cocoa. Do you guys remember Mervyn's? Would give you, like, hot cocoa and donuts, and anybody who was in line outside would, like, get, like, coupons, and I don't know, it was, like, so cool. You had, like, scratch-off things that gave you, like, different discounts. And now, and it was, like, it was good stuff, too. So it's all gift cards. I mean, it used to be, like, super good stuff, too. It was, like, portable DVD players. Remember when that was a thing? And, I mean, just amazing sales on items that you, like, actually wanted. Attitude, a shove out of the way, and some hand signals. Can I guess what those hand signals were? Yeah. I'm size $50 gift cards to Amazon. But now, I mean, the Black Friday things just suck. Ooh, Christy, are you still here? Do you remember when we used to do speed tournaments? The card game? When we used to play speed on Thanksgiving? Anybody else know what card game that is? Oh my gosh, it's so fun. We used to have tournaments. Sitting on the floor. Amateurs. Yeah, Christy remembers. Those were times. Or we would play Jenga. It was usually after the rest of the family had gone, though. It was just like our little family. Because we have a really large family. And I know I forgot all about it until just right now. Oh, spoons. Oh my gosh, yeah. Remember sitting on the floor in the den playing spoons? Dang, those were the days. We have a very large family. And so it used to be that, like, all the aunts and uncles and cousins and everything would all come over for Thanksgiving. Sometimes we would go to Aunt Kathy's house. But most of the time, it was at our house. Because our mom is she's just one of those people. Everything, she's completely flexible as long as everything goes her way. Exactly her way. She's not a control freak at all. Do you love this technique, B? We had serious, so like after the family would go home, or most of the family would go home, we would have serious card tournaments. We used to play Rummy too, but Christy, I don't think you played Rummy. It was more me, Angel, and Mom. Right? I know you played Speed, and I know you kicked butt at Spoons. Right, yeah, she's super flexible. So most of the holidays ended up being at our house. Probably, are you using your Ohuhu markers? Because my dots are much, much smaller with these Copic nibs than with your Ohuhu nibs. So you're filling in more ink at a time. Also, the Copic ink has a much higher viscosity than the Ohuhu ink. So your ink will actually absorb into the paper more, and it will fill more, it'll spread out into the paper fibers more than what mine is. So mine will stay closed, and yours will bloom a little bit, and it fills up the paper. You played some Rummy. Yeah, I remember you playing some, but you weren't like, not like you played Spoons. You played Spoons like crazy. My sister is the Spoons champion, y'all. You cannot mess with her at Spoons. She's also really good at Jenga. So just know that going in, that you will get beat. Yeah, you use the no-no paper, so there's that too. Okay, so now I'm going to do his head. B uses the wrong paper. Yes, you're a Copic poor, but we're going to fix that. So, what's your guys' favorite Christmas movie? You obviously know mine. Yes, you did buy paper, and it's on its way to you. You made the video of the mailman picking up your paper to bring to you. The little smirk on this guy's face cracks me up. Elf? The Will Ferrell movie? A lot of people like that movie. It's not my style. Christmas Vacation, The Grinch, and A Christmas Story. See, yeah, but the original Grinch. Not the new ones. The original one. Right, Denise? The one that's narrated by, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Favorite Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life. Got to see it on the big screen a couple of years. Oh, really? Boris Karloff. Thank you. Yes, I think that's correct. Miracle on 80. I thought it was 34th Street. Is it 84th Street? I don't know what street I'm on. I haven't watched that one for so long. $34. Okay. Just scaring me, making me think I don't know where I'm at. Of course, I was in New York and I had no idea where I was at either, so. So I'm just kind of tracing the artist drawn lines, or as I like to say, the Sandy drawn lines, to give his eyes some definition. Because with this no line coloring, you have to put some of this definition back in, or it will disappear. So that's what I'm doing there. Now he looks kind of scary, not gonna lie. Watch it every Christmas and still I call it 84th Street. I mean, hey, when you get a number stuck in your brain, I can see how that can happen. My goodness, you guys, this little dragon is so dang cute. Christy, don't look. This might be your Christmas card. Just gonna go under his chin a little bit to give his chin some definition. I like the fine lines too, Karen. I think it's really cute. You have a heavy hand. Try thinking, Denise, again, I know I told this to you in class, but I told you a lot of things in class, so it may have not registered or stuck. But try thinking of this as a paintbrush, because really this is a tool. This pen is, it's a marker, but it has two tools. This is a marker and this is a paintbrush. So, right, teachers never listen. So if you think about it in terms like that, it might actually help you a little bit more to lift your hand off of the paper some and not have quite such a quote-unquote heavy hand. Now his nose is going to look a little bit funky for the time being, but I'm just kind of starting to shape it in there, and so it's going to look a little bit weird for a minute. Trying to sculpt his face a little bit. Give this little dude some high cheekbones. Gonna be all decked out for Christmas. So who already has their tree up? I know B's gonna put hers up this week. Christy, is yours up? Kelly? I think Carrie left us. I think Carrie is out and about. Kelly, how did your husband's dental surgery go? That did not sound like a lot of fun. Tell him there's much better ways to spend the weekend. What is my favorite Christmas candy? That's a good one. So I'm a toffee girl. I love toffee, but I am a peppermint girl. And so candy canes are just mwah, chef's kiss. I love candy canes. I love all things peppermint. Peppermint mochas. My mom makes marshmallows. Yes, I know, it's weird. My mom makes marshmallows. But she makes peppermint marshmallows. Holy crikeys, you guys. They are so, so good. I used to do that, Karen. Fudge. B likes fudge. I think I'm skipping it again. We had to the last few years because the cat knocks it over. They pass in August, so I hate Peters, but I always have Oh, hi, Stacy. I get that. I understand that, Denise. Why don't you get a little tabletop one that you can get away from the cats? Little Charlie Brown tree. One ornament on it. What's yours, Karen? What's your favorite holiday candy? I also love gingerbread. Or ginger snaps. Ginger snap cookies are the bomb.com. You love this year's Make and Take? Yay! Did you get to do both of them? Because we had the Clutter Caddy that we did at the Mega, and then we had the Thought Spot that we did in the booth. So which one did you like the most, or did you like them both the most? Just the booth. My friend couldn't stay the weekend with me, so we just did the day. Oh, I think I remember you saying that, actually. It's weird how dark his head looks. Again with you and Sandy, but you were extremely busy. The person who checked me out when you paid for my goodies was a sweetheart. In Ontario, that would be Christina Rudder. We love her. Girl with short black hair. She's really sweet. He's taking shape. And you can always interrupt us, Stacy. That's what we're there for. You know how many people interrupt us and get pictures and stuff? Totally. We're never too busy to stop and chat with a friend. Never, 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 never. That was a good question, Karen, about the Christmas candy. Who else has questions? Anybody else want to ask a question? I'm hoping that my dog doesn't wake up because the neighbors are walking by with their dogs. Which usually makes Archie run and bark. There he goes. This is just tiny dots. And there is no flicking in Copic. Remember? Because this is a paintbrush. And if you were to flick a paintbrush, if you were to take a paintbrush and go like this, there would be paint everywhere. I know they are referring to a flick of the wrist, but that is just not correct because technically when you do brush strokes, you're not even brushing from the wrist. The movement is from your hand, not your wrist. So, no flicking. But yes, I am literally just overlapping these dots and overlapping and overlapping and overlapping. There's no blending involved. There's no... Copic markers don't actually blend either. They are alcohol ink, and any alcohol ink marker doesn't actually blend. It is translucent. The ink is translucent. And so it's not blending, it's that you're seeing the lighter ink through, you're seeing the darker ink through the lighter ink. So, that's why they function the way that they function, is because you're actually seeing the layers. And so that's why a lot of people who color light to dark, it's actually the wrong way to color with Copics, theoretically. I mean, if you are an art major and you went to art school and you can do all of the crazy art stuff, then of course knock yourself out. But most of us did not do such things. And so you have to understand how your tools work. And so the way these tools work is that you have to layer them. And so when you work in layers and you keep going over it and over it and over it, you're blurring the lines. And so if your first layer is here and your second layer is here and your third layer is here and here and here, then you're blurring all of that line, and that's what makes that smooth ombre blend. So I'm just doing that, but I'm doing it with dots instead. Yes, you must color dark to light in order for it to work. So you can do a light base layer if you really want to wet the paper. It's kind of like, you know, like a painter comes in and they paint your walls. They usually put on primer, right? So that the rest of it goes on more easily. It depends on what you're coloring, if you need that step at all or not. Usually, by the time somebody does that, it dries so fast because alcohol, as soon as it hits the oxygen, it evaporates or dissipates or whatever you want to call it. And so usually by the time you have laid that foundational layer, it has already dried. Hey, Tiffany. It has already dried out by the time you get to whatever it is you were coloring, whatever marker or whatever. So generally speaking, I will lay down a base layer when I'm coloring skin. I will kind of prime the paper because it's so light that in order to get those colors to blend well, I will work in small sections and put that primer down. But for the most part, it's not really necessary, especially if you're using the proper paper. So yes, to answer your question, the best markers to use other than Copic. There's several on the market, and I don't really know that I have a favorite other than Copic, but it's also kind of like comparing apples and oranges. So there is Olo markers, there is Tombow markers, there's Ohuhu markers, there's Spectrum Noir markers, there's all these different kinds of markers, right? And even Stampin' Up! Markers. And they all are alcohol ink, right? The difference between those and Copic markers is that those are all scholastic grade markers. So what that means is that they are student markers. And Copic markers are professional or artistic grade markers. So they are meant for a higher caliber. So that means higher quality ink, higher quality functionality, all of that stuff. So, honestly, if you're going to invest in any markers, I would invest in Copic from the get-go, because eventually you're going to not like your Spectrum Noir markers or your Ohuhu markers or your whatever markers, because you're going to advance past them. So for a lot of people who have that artistic bug, they can make anything work and it's fine. I don't have that. So I need the quality of the Copics to carry me through the things that I don't know. And I'm okay admitting that. I have a bunch of college degrees and none of them have anything to do with art. I come at coloring from a very different perspective, as most of you know. So, right, you are addicted to Copics. It's a good addiction. Thank you, Stacy. So Copic has the Copic Chow markers, and those are the smaller round ones. I don't know if I have any handy. Nope, I don't. Those ones, there's 180 in that set, and that's considered the starter set. And honestly, if you start collecting that set, you're going to be much happier than if you collect Spectrum Noir, because the color is so much more true and they just work so much better. The nibs on them are higher quality. Hey, Angela. A lot of people say it's money that makes them buy the cheaper markers, and I get that. Trust me, I get that. But when you start collecting Copics, you will notice that with the quality and the way they're built, you're not going to be replacing them as much as you would those other markers. So in the long run, it's actually cheaper to just buy Copics from the beginning. Sandy and I have done the math in several different ways and in several different circumstances and stuff, and it just pencils out way better. Yes, I get that. I totally get that, B. And it was a process for me to collect all of the Copics and all of the refills. So the sketch markers, there's 358 of those, and that is these oval ones, and that is considered the professional set. And you can mix them together with the chows. As long as you take care of your markers, you won't ever need to replace them. You can refill them, you can replace the nibs. As long as you take care of your markers, there is no need to replace them. And I promise you the coloring of the rest of this will go much faster once I'm done with this dotting stuff. This is a process that does take a long time, but I really love the outcome of it. So I don't know that I really answered your question. If I were to choose one brand of markers that I had to go to, like if Copic didn't exist anymore, I would actually probably go to Pro Markers. They're by Winsor Newton. And you mainly get them in Europe and England. Every once in a while you'll find them over here in the States. They are really cool. They have fine nibs. They also have brush nibs available. They blend seamlessly. And tell someone that you paid for each marker and your husband does the math. He said, for markers? Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Angela. I miss you, girl. I feel like I haven't got to talk to you in forever. You always make me laugh. I just love being around you. You have such an amazing personality, and you're so full of life and light. You just light up a room. So, you have such a big personality. It's so fun. If y'all don't know Angela, she is amazing. She's such a fun person. And I've gotten to hang out with her several times, and she's helped us on retreats. She's a fantastic cook. And that means a lot coming from me because I don't eat anybody's cooking. I use Ohuhu and Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend and Pro markers because, well, one less expensive plus one marker can have 3 colors. Yes and no, Stacy. I get what you're saying. Sandy did not pay me a dime. I love dragons. Adele, yay! When I filled in my collection, he nearly chose. What saved me was it was my Mennonite friend's store, so no cursing. That's awesome. I know that a lot of people use Ohuhu markers, and I haven't personally gotten to use them. So I can't really speak intelligently on them because I've never really used them. I love Pro markers, and the ink quality in the Pro marker is the only one that I have found that compares to Copic. I think the tri-blends, if I'm being honest, don't actually do what they are supposed to do. I think they're very tonal, and with a little more thought, I think they were a great idea, but with a little more thought and a little more developing, they could have been a little more awesome. But you have to take that from a person who doesn't color in 3s. I color in 5, 7, 9. My color spectrum is much, much larger than that. And so a lot of people use the tri-blends because they are novice colorists and they are coloring in blocks of 3. So, or in blends of 3. So in that respect, they are fantastic markers because you're learning, and you're learning what those should look like and how to choose color blends so that when you do graduate to a more professional marker, you will already have that kind of ingrained in your head, like what it's supposed to look like and what it's supposed to do. So I don't discourage you from using those at all. I mean, if it's what you have, girl, you put some ink on some paper and you color. Yeah, you can dot a dragon, girl. Yeah, they're very tonal. They're very shade on shade. I have 3, yep, 3 Copics and over 150 markers. I have addiction issues. No, Stacy, it's not addiction. We call it full set syndrome in the crafty world. I have full set syndrome. It sounds so much better than addiction. Addiction has like a negative connotation and seems like it's something that should be frowned upon, and art shouldn't be frowned upon. So I like to call it full set syndrome. It's something I can't help. It's something that I was just born with. That's today's best quote. You can dab a dragon, girl. You got this. Tiffany and Angela, since you guys just logged in, we were talking earlier about our favorite things about Thanksgiving, our most favorite and our least favorite things about Thanksgiving. So, Tiffany, I know you cook, so I want to know what your favorite thing is about Thanksgiving and your least favorite thing is about Thanksgiving. It doesn't have to be the food, but I'm going to assume that cooking is your favorite thing. Jamie, did you use to color in coloring books when you were a child? No. I hated that stuff. I mean, okay. So, yes, I colored in coloring books, but no, it wasn't necessarily by choice. It was kind of one of those things that was like, we didn't have gaming systems or internet or anything. So I had several coloring books, but it was never a big thing for me. If I had to choose an activity, it was not coloring. I didn't like art at all. Sweet potato pie is my favorite. Doing the dishes is the worst. Angela, I hated art. People who like to cook, what's your favorite holiday thing is to cook? I love to cook. I love cooking and baking and pleasing people with food. So cooking for me is, yes, I love doing that. I hated art. Right, Angela? See, cooking for you too. It's not necessarily the act of cooking. It's what you can do for everyone. Like, it makes them so happy. Okay, so I'm going to go and choose my red. I'm going to start with R89. And then I'm going to go R59, which is cardinal, which is very appropriate for what we're doing. R24, and then I like my red to be a little bit orangey at the end. It reads more red to me, so R05. I'll bake, but cooking not so much. I'm vegetarian, and my family are, so it gets me out of everything except mac and cheese and apple crisp. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with mac and cheese and apple crisp. So yeah, I actually used to cry and sit outside the art room because I didn't want to go in because it was icky and funky. And I will tell you this, I am a very sensitive empath. I don't know if y'all know that about me, but you do know. And as such, the art room is a place of a lot of emotion. And so it was always very difficult for me to go into the art room. I didn't like it. So when they would try to force me as a child to go into the art room, I would essentially start crying so that I didn't have to go into the art room. I work a lot, but I feel like I'm missing so much. New Copic stands. This one was an exclusive for the retreat that we did. So, and you do work a lot, girl. Like so much. Ooh, I kicked my camera. Oh, you did? It's not to say they'll never be in the shop, Tiffany. They're just not in there yet. Don't forget, you guys, we have a sale going on for the new release today with these little dragons. If you buy the bundles, you get a discount. If you spend $100, you get free shipping. And we have lots of stocking stuffers. All the vinyl stickers make great stocking stuffers for water bottle stickers and all of that kind of stuff. So check all of that out. Oh, look at how cute he is. Yay! So yeah, and we have a new vinyl sticker out with this little dude. We have lots of sequin packs. This is the new enchanted sequins. I was going to use them on my card today, but they don't really go with this card, so I'll have to use them for something else. Yeah, we had to have a year of art in order to graduate too. And I ended up painting a mural on one of the school walls. So I didn't have to go into the art room other than to gather supplies and drop off supplies. But I mean, that started at a very, very young age that I would stay outside of the art room. We're talking when I was really little, like first grade. I also hated that they wanted us to wear smocks. And the smocks that we had at our school were like old used t-shirts. And I found it disgusting to wear somebody's old used t-shirt. Now, I know they were washed and everything, but I still didn't want to do that. So, well, the rest of the kids were like, yeah, throw a t-shirt over my clothes. Let's finger paint. I was like, no. Hard pass for me, but thanks. So, I know, I'm just weird. And then look what I do for a living is I teach people how to color. So, don't tell me that God doesn't have a sense of humor. My school is huge, so there are many options. I hated arts classes while we were poor. I never had the smock we needed. I was never good at drawing, clearly suck at coloring, and yet here I am, art as a hobby, right? I always have sucked at drawing. Like, seriously, drawing has never been my thing. Yeah. It just does not work for me. But I can take Sandy's drawings and color the heck out of them, my friends. So there we go. Good thing Sandy's artistic, right? Yes, I do as well. And that's exactly why I'm here, B. Art is a total form of therapy. Once I let go of, and Denise, this might be helpful for you too. Once I let go of opinion and decided what was good coloring and what was bad coloring, and decided that art was just my happy place and that was the end of the story, didn't need to be anything more than that, then it was just my release and that's what I was doing, and if somebody liked it, great, and if somebody didn't like it, well, great for them. Once I let go of all of that baggage of what an opinion would be, that's when my art started to flourish. I know, B, we really are, like, for reals. Are you new? This is true. This is true. You're not wrong. Okay, so I'm going to start under his chin with the red, because it seems the most logical for me. And then I'm going to skip one. Freaking Denise, I love you, man. Are you new here? You know I don't care about opinion. It's true, she doesn't. If you love her, great. If you don't love her, there's the door. Denise is one of those people that says, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I drink coffee, so whatever. Yes, I really had a problem of thinking of my own stuff was any good at all. And then once I started to let that go, my coloring improved dramatically. Now, Sneaky Sandy put a couple of his little belly scales over here. So don't forget to color those ones in as well. And then this last one down here is going to be white. Facts. Facts. Look at how cute this little guy is coming together. I love it. Now, Sandy would say I was nuts for coloring the red before coloring the white, but that's just how I roll. I like to live on the edge like that. Just at the edges, so the color, each one overlaps about 1/3 to 1/2 of the way up the previous color. Look at him. Yeah, no problem. He's so cute. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry before I go in to color the white. I am going to color the little tip of his tail, the little flame. I gotta tell y'all, I put my contacts in today so that I could look cute on the live video. And I'm farsighted, so coloring this fine detail with these contacts in my eyeballs is not necessarily working so well for me. But hey, there you go. All right, so I have a favorite blend for coloring horns. I know that sounds super duper wrong, but I colored horns and antlers and stuff a lot, apparently. So this is one of the only blends that I do as a 3-color blend. And it's E55. I'll also use it to color his little toes, his little claws. Apparently a lot, Denise. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, more than you would expect. Less than makes it weird. I mean, but you have to think, like, I colored dinosaurs and deer and dragons. Those all start with D, so hey, there we go. Today's video brought to you by the letter D. I color, what else? There's all kinds of stuff that has horns and antlers. Moose. Yeah, so see, and then E51. But yeah, it does sound weird that I have a go-to for antlers and claws. Sounds better when I say antlers, not so aggressive as horns. I will say coloring botanicals as a new colorist is definitely the way to go. It's the most forgiving subject matter. Okay, so now I have this, and I'm gonna pick out some grays. And I think I'm going to go with, oh man, I think I'm going to go with C's. And I usually don't do this because anything that is alive, I usually do with a warm base to it. But for some reason, I feel like this should have a cool base to it. So I'm going to go C5, C4, C3, C1, C00. Okay, so we're going to cover like a lot of ground with this, okay? I'm going to color his hair. Okay, I am going to color inside his ears. And we're going to color his stripes. Just be really careful not to pick up that red. Okay, we're going to do his eyes last. Okay, C4. And I do better at doing brush strokes towards my body, so I'm going to turn this over. Okay. It's coming together, guys. I can't believe you usually stick to flowers, Denise, after all the things that you have learned from coloring with me. Because you've been coloring with me since, I don't know, the Craft and Kimmy days? That was a long time ago. You use them the most on your cards. Makes sense. There goes Archie. Oh, the neighbor's dog is out. Hold on a second. I'm going to close my door. Otherwise, he will continually bark at the neighbor's dog, since the neighbor's dog is in the front yard. All right. See one. Forces me to go. So I'm getting here. Good. Now, Angela and Tiffany, both of you I didn't find until Sweet Sentiment. Let's see, who else do we have? Same with Karen. Didn't start following me until Sweet Sentiment. Oh my gosh, look at this little dude. How stinking cute is that? Okay, so now we're gonna do his eyes. So I'm gonna start with, what was weird today was I had to make a new account. It said I didn't have one, go figure. To purchase, because we switched platforms in January. This is probably the first time you've purchased from us online since then, because you usually wait until the shows. Solved that for you, didn't I? Okay, so I'm gonna give him like hazel eyes. So I'm gonna choose a blue. I'm gonna choose a brown. And then, right? Less evidence. You got it, girl. I'm gonna choose a yellow. And then I want a green. And I want some kind of middle green. I think I'm going to use, what do I want to use? I'm going to use like Geo5. Okay, so in choosing my hazel eye colors, I still choose the same way. So I want them to read kind of green. So that's why I chose this like middle ground green. Then I need 2 shadow colors and 2 highlight colors. So the yellow is lighter than the green, and this green is lighter than the yellow. Excuse me, the brown is darker than the green, and this blue is the middle of these two. So even when I'm choosing colors that aren't necessarily in the same color family or anything, they still follow that that method, that same method. This, Denise, is where I do use the priming the paper. And that is because I want these colors to bleed together. So if I wet the paper prior to coloring, it will force these inks to bleed when they touch the paper. So, hey Milligan. So what I'm gonna do is, this is gonna look like a hot mess for a little bit. You're just gonna have to trust me. Is starting with the brown. I'm going to work my way out from the pupil. Then with the blue, I'm going to come in and kind of outline the eyeball and work my way into the center. Okay, I know it looks scary right now. It's all good. With my green, again, I'm going to go from the outside towards the center. I'm still leaving room between these brush strokes to let them breathe. Wow, yeah, I can talk. Words are hard. With my yellow, I'm going to kind of bleed these together where the overlap was heaviest by oversaturating the paper. And then I'm starting with my very first green. To sort of overwash them and again over wet the paper so that they bleed together. All right, so they're still gonna look a little weird until I get the pupils in there, but I gotta let that dry for a second first before I put the pupils in there. So I'm gonna grab my white gel pen, get that ready to go. And multi-liner, that's what I'm looking for. I was like, what do I need? So I have chosen the 0.3. Brenda, how you doing today? And I'm going to add the pupil. He looks so psycho right now. It's awesome. Okay, so to get my gel pen started, I usually either color on my finger to put a little bit of oil on the ball so that it gets moving. See, it all works out in the end. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to kind of clean up the whites of his eyes to make sure that nothing has come in there. You don't want to put too much ink in there or all the green from his scales will start to bleed in there. Okay, I'm going to put highlights on his horns. I'm going to put highlights in his hair. And I'm going to put highlights on his scales down the center of his belly. Oh my gosh, you guys, isn't he stinking cute? Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna make a very clean and simple card. So I'm gonna straighten up my camera a little bit for you because it doesn't need to be at an angle now since I'm not coloring. And here's our little dude. So I have cut an A2 card base and I'm going to adhere this to the card base. First things first, I'm going to round the corners with my handy dandy corner punch. I don't know why, but I just feel like this card needs rounded corners. You know I generally only round 2, but this one's getting all 4. Okay, now before I adhere him to the card base, I'm gonna ground him so he's not like just floating out here in the middle of nowhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to grab a Post-it note. It's not going to be large enough. I'm going to grab my yellow tape. My frog tape. You guys know how much I love my frog tape. Guess I can move this up a little bit so you guys can see it. He needs to be grounded some so that it doesn't look like he's just floating in the middle of nowhere for no reason. So with my frog tape, I'm gonna go a little bit up. Okay, and I'm just gonna grab a brush that I have. I used black soot on this one, and I'm just gonna use my finger to kind of cover. I guess I should have done this sideways so I could reach it. To kind of cover so that I don't color over him. Just real subtle grounding so that it does not look like he's floating. When you peel the tape off, you want to peel at a very harsh angle, and you want to peel very slowly so as not to rip your paper. See, now it looks like he's sitting on something, which is fantastic. That's what we needed. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and round the corners of this one. And I have some white organza ribbon. I like to use my Sukuwing tape when I do this so that my ribbon stays. You don't need very much. I probably need my tweezers for this. Okay. And then I'm going to set this on my desk just like this. I'm not going to push down or anything because I don't want it to, you know, adhere itself. These are brand new scissors. I hope they're going to work. Look at that. Okay. And I'm putting the ribbon towards the bottom of my card. And I have lined it up using the grid on my mat so that I know it's equal. Oh, then I just moved it. So I'm gonna have to line it up again. There we go. I can't pick up anything with my nails. I made them too thick this time. Okay. And then I'm gonna pop this portion up on Sweet Pops. So I like to take my Sweet Pops and cut them off the roll. And I like to use way too many of them. So you don't have to use this many, but I do. So as we're popping this up, I wanted to reiterate today is release day, new release day. So by all means, go check out our website, www.sweetsentiment.us, and check out the new release. These little dragons are part of the new release. We also have some warriors, prince and princess, and a cute little pony. I told you I use way too many Sweet Pops. Could you get away with like 4 or 5? Yes, absolutely. Is that what I do? No. Yeah, get you a dragon before they sell out. I'm almost done with this card. All I'm going to do is tie a bow on it, Denise, so maybe add some bling. Thank you for spending the afternoon with me. I really appreciate it. Okay, so now I'm going to stick this on here. I love doing white on white. It just looks super pretty to me. There we go. Perfect. Now, at some point, I'm going to add some sort of Christmas sentiment to this. I'm not really sure what, but for now, I'm just going to tie a bow. So I take my ribbon, I pinch it between my thumb. Oh, yes, you definitely get way. On until next week, Hubs, upstate hunting, peace and quiet, and time to watch a live for change. Yay, Denise. So I pinch it between my thumb and middle finger, and then I do 2 figure eights, 1, 2. I cut off enough of a tail that I have room to work. I take the tail and I put it between the V of my finger, and I leave this circle here, and I bring this up, come around the circle and through it, pull it nice and tight, and then pull it off of your fingers. And you have a perfect bow every time. We're gonna do, because it's a dragon, we're gonna do little pennant tails. So I just fold my ribbon in half so that I can cut a cute little pennant. Yeah, I mean, it's how I always tie my bows, Denise. And earlier I turned on my glue gun, so I'm gonna just add a dot of glue right here. Ouch, I'm gonna burn the heck out of myself because, you know, that's what I do. I mean, crafters don't need fingerprints anyways, right? I love the little white bow. It's a little bit subtle on the card, so he stays as the focal point. I'm also gonna grab my translucent enamel dots, because I think he needs bling, but I think it needs to be subtle. So I think these will foot the bill. And there we go, you guys. I'm gonna see if I can get these ones off. Put them down here. There he is. You went wild with yours? They're just more evidence. Cast means clean and simple. So you're going to have to figure that one out. And there it is. There's our cute little dinosaur. Well, dragon. Right? I mean, sometimes it's really hard to do the whole clean and simple thing. I promise. I don't like the placement of this dot. It's too close to his ear. There we go. I fixed it. Thanks, Milligan. So I'm going to add some sort of Christmas sentiment to it. And yeah, my very first Christmas card of the season. Go figure. And there we go. It's official now. It's a Jammie Clark card. I have a red sparkly gel pen that I can sign it in. Okay, I want to see your post. I can't wait. So I will take a photo of him and I will post him. If you guys want to watch the replay of this, I will post this onto our YouTube channel. Please go shopping, www.sweetsentiment.us, and pick up the new release. This was the Who Knew Dragon set, and I made it. Look how different he looks. Crazy, huh? This is the Who Knew Dragon set, and I will not be live tomorrow. I know, right? I'm so fancy. I will not be live tomorrow because it's Sunday, but I will be back on Monday. And Monday, I take requests. It's called Make It Monday. So you can request whatever it is you want to see me color or create. It is completely up to you. So please feel free to DM me or post in the group a request, and I will choose one of the requests to complete on my live video on Monday. And I will be live at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, same time as I was today. So see you guys later. Toodles.